Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order this regular board meeting of the Richland One School District Board of Commissioners. It's Tuesday, February 25th at 7:10 p.m. We are located at Columbia High School, 1701 Westchester Drive. Pursuant to the Freedom of Information Act, all persons, organizations, and media outlets, as requested, have been notified of the time, date, place, and agenda of this meeting. Before we get to the public session, I do want to note that we went into executive session upon motion by Commissioner Hersey that was seconded by Commissioner Moore and received a unanimous vote, 6-0 vote. We exited executive session at 6:53 p.m. Before we get to the agenda adoption, we do have item 6.01, the invocation, which will be given by Commissioner Devine.
Chair.
Yes.
If I recall, it was Commissioner Devine and Commissioner Bishop to go into executive session.
To go into, I was talking about
Okay.
to go out of. We went
All right.
into executive session in
Okay,
public,
yeah.
so
All right,
I was just noting what we did, the vote that we did to come out.
All
But
right.
you are correct in terms of going into executive session. Thank you. Commissioner Devine.
Thank you. Let us bow. Gracious source of wisdom, as we gather today to discuss the future of our school community, we ask for your guiding presence. May our deliberations be marked by compassion, open-mindedness, and a deep commitment to the well-being of all students. Grant us clarity of thought, respectful dialogue, and the courage to make decisions that best serve the needs of all of our children. We pray for unity in purpose, that we may work together to create a nurturing environment where every child can thrive. And it's in this spirit we humbly ask for your blessings on our work here on tonight. These and all other blessings we ask. Amen.
Thank you, Commissioner Devine. We do have an agenda before us. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Move for approval, Chair.
Second.
There's a motion by Commissioner Bishop to adopt the agenda. It has been seconded by Commissioner Devine. Any questions or discussion? All right, I'll call for the vote. The motion carries with 6 yeas and 0 noes. It was unanimous. The agenda has been adopted. We will then proceed to 6.03, the school board spotlight presented by Commissioner Hersey.
We are always excited to have an opportunity to spotlight some of the many outstanding students we have in Richland School District 1. Tonight, we will recognize 3 Dreher High School students who recently did something extraordinary. We're honored to have Chief Aubrey Jenkins of the Columbia Richland Fire Department here to recognize the students as well. First, we'll ask Dreher Principal Dr. Joe Eberlin to come up and introduce his students and tell us about what they did. Dr. Eberlin will be followed by Chief Aubrey Jenkins. We'll take a group photo at the end.
Good evening, Board of Commissioners, Dr. Witherspoon, and executive staff. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to introduce a few of our amazing Dreher student athletes and briefly tell you their story. I'm going to ask our student athletes to come on up, as well as Miss Wagner, who is a part of this event. If the 3 of y'all can come join us up here real quickly. A few weeks ago, around 7:45 in the morning, Battalion Chief Lowry of the Columbia Fire Department came to see me at school. As my secretary explained, the fire chief was here. All I could think was, what have we done now? As you know, Dreher has more than a few fire drills. Chief Lowry quickly explained that his visit was for a very good reason. He told me that the evening prior, members of our track and field team had helped save a woman's house from burning down. The students were running through the Shandon neighborhood on a long-distance training run and heard a woman calling for help with using a fire extinguisher. These student athletes did not hesitate and simply answered, "We can help." While the members of the team waited outside for the fire trucks to arrive, 3 students, Micah Roth, Eliza Jones, and Hampton Rogers entered the house with Miss Donna Wagner, the homeowner, to put out the fire and to search for her dog. When Columbia Fire arrived, they took over and Mrs. Wagner's house was saved. By the time the fire department was finished, our student athletes had left to finish their run and get back to practice. Chief Lowry had come to Dreer so that we could help him identify this humble and heroic group of kids. So tonight, I present Micah, Eliza, Hampton, and our long-distance runners who helped save the house and a dog as well.
Thank you, Dr. Eberlin.
I want to say good evening, commissioners, Dr. Witherspoon. Thank you for allowing us this moment. You know, anytime a fire starts, everybody is running away from it. And sometimes they think the firemen, they got to have a little something wrong upstairs because they running into a burning structure, that you run away from. But tonight we're here to honor these three courageous people who thought it not robbery to put their life on the line to go in and save a home from someone that was in distress. So we really appreciate what you all did. I mean, you know, it takes a lot to do what you did. You could have just stood by and like so many people do and just watched the house burn. But because of what you did, it gave us the opportunity to get there to make sure that it was out. But not only that, but it stopped the fire from spreading. You know, we talk about learning how to use an extinguisher. And, of course, everybody don't know how to use an extinguisher. But you all, some kind of training you got or whatever you got, you learn how to use that extinguisher. And you did a great job, and we're real proud of you. Our firefighters are extremely proud of you because what you did, you made their work just a little bit easier, you know, by what you did. So tonight, we just want to present something to you from the fire department, you know, just to let you know we appreciate what you all did, okay? So we're going to present this to you.
Congratulations, students, and we thank you. Thank you, students. Thank you, Chief Jenkins.
I told Dr. Witherspoon I got to make one last comment. So you all saw 3 students up there. Let me tell you what I saw. I saw 3 potential firefighters.
Richland One joins the City of Columbia each year in honoring the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Richland One students have had an opportunity to participate in the city's Dreamkeeper Scholarship Awards program, and our schools participate in the Honor the Dream Food Drive. Tonight, we will recognize this year's Dreamkeeper Scholarship Award winners, as well as schools that had outstanding participation in the food drive. Nutrition Services Director Tracy Dixon will make the introductions.
Good evening, Chairman Lomanak, Richland One Board of Commissioners, Dr. Witherspoon, and every stakeholder present in the building tonight. My name is Tracy Dixon of Nutrition Services, and I'm just going to keep the good news rolling with more outstanding news about our students and our schools. Richland One participated in the City of Columbia's MLK Jr. Memorial Foundation's 37th annual Martin Luther King Jr. celebration. This year's celebration was held on Saturday, January 25th, 2025, at the Martin Luther King Jr. Park located at 2300 Green Street. The event featured keynote speaker and Columbia College President Dr. John Dozier, and an awe-inspiring performance by our very own Dr. Craig Witherspoon's quartet. This evening, I would like to recognize both the winners of the school food drive as well as the students that have received scholarships this year. At this time, I will ask Assistant City Manager of Operations, Mr. Henry Simons, Councilman Reverend Dr. Ed McDowell, representing the City of Columbia this evening, and Mrs. Mariah Jeffcoat, Community Food Engagement Coordinator, and a proud Richland One parent, join me as I announce this year's winners. This year's collaborative food drive efforts resulted in the collection of 3,694 pounds of food between Richland One and the City of Columbia Parks, which were all donated to the Harvest Hope Food Bank. These donations are equivalent to 3,078 meals for people in our community. Thank you to all Richland One schools, buildings, and staff for your continued commitment and dedication to this cause. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, please help me in recognizing the following schools for collecting the most pounds per each school grade group in this year's drive. As I call your school, please come forward for recognition. In elementary, Burton Pack Elementary School with 636 pounds. Middle school, Southeast Middle School. And high school, Richland One Middle College. Take a photo. Right, thank you all so much. Please, let's commend these schools on tonight for securing the top collection efforts. In addition to the food drive, the program also recognized 12 students across all 3 school grade groups for various scholarship awards. Let me note that scholarship awards were only open to Richland One students, and let me tell you that the response again this year was overwhelming, with 178 applicants submitted this year. At this time, we will recognize our winners. As I call your name, please come forward for recognition. And if your principal or school representative is here, please join your student as well. In elementary school, honorable mention, Sophia String of South Kilburn Elementary School. Third place, Deasia Richmond of A.J. Lewis Greenview Elementary School. Second place, Amina White, Kaufman Road Elementary School. And our first place winner, Tavon Samuels of Hyatt Park Elementary School. For our middle schools, honorable mention, Avery Jasno, Creighton Elementary School. I'm sorry, Creighton Middle School. My apologies. Third place, Layla Greg Jennings, Alcorn Middle School. Second place, Zoe Boaknight, Hopkins Middle School. And first place, Sophie P. from Hand Middle School. At our high schools, honorable mention, Janelle Jones, Laura Richland High School. Third place, Azaziah Slater, C.A. Johnson High School. Second place, Jayana Moody, Eau Claire High School. And first place, Halen Moss, Dreer High School. So while we're preparing for the photo, I just want to say again, thank you to all of our schools and departments that have participated in this year's food drive, and congratulations to all 178 students that submitted essays this year for the Dreamkeeper scholarships. In addition to those 12 scholarships awarded, all of the students that participated also received a gift card for their participation. So thank you so much to the City of Columbia for continuing this initiative, which has provided our students an opportunity to not only receive scholarship funds, but also make a difference in the community through service and giving. So we thank you. It has indeed all been a pleasure on this evening, and until next year, I hope you all have a good evening.
Thank you, Ms. Dixon. Richland One is proud to join with the Prisma Health Midlands Foundation in the fight against breast cancer through the annual Walk for Life campaign. Dr. Tracy Cooper, our Director of Strategic Partnerships and Extended Day Programs, will tell us about this year's campaign and introduce our partners from Prisma Health who are here tonight for the presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, School Board Commissioners, and Dr. Witherspoon. Since 2010, Richland One has participated as a community partner supporting Prisma Health Foundation's annual Walk for Life, Race for Life 5K and Half Marathon. Unifying under the brand Team Richland One, schools, departments, and community partners have eagerly fundraised and friend-raised, commencing in August and concluding these efforts in October. Over our 14-year involvement with the Walk for Life, Race for Life, 5K Half Marathon, Richland One has raised $476,000, just a little shy. And that amount is just a little shy of our $500,000 mark goal that we established at the beginning of this year's campaign. So this evening, we celebrate and offer commendations to our over 20 team captains, our over 155 walkers and runners, and the numerous volunteers helping us on the morning of the Walk, Race, 5K Half Marathon, to include the Columbia High School cheerleaders, the JROTC cadets from Lower Richland High School, the Lower Richland High School Beta Club members, the Han Middle School Band, the Extended Day Programs, technical support team members, and the Sanders Middle School students. So joining me this evening to accept this donation is Mr. Anthony Jackson, Interim Market President and CEO of the Midlands, Vice President of Accountable Communities, External Affairs, and Community Relations for Prisma Health. And also Mrs. Dargan Davis, Prisma Health Foundation's Manager of Events and Director of Atrium and Calvary. So on behalf of Team Richland One, we proudly present to the Prisma Health Foundation this check in the amount of $18,724.10 this evening. And we wish to thank everyone who supported this year's campaign, assisting Team Richland One with lacing up to take steps against breast cancer in our community. I would like to add and ask you to please mark your calendars for next year's Walk, Race, 5K and Half Marathon, which is scheduled for Saturday, October the 11th. Before I invite our guests to come forward, I would like to yield to Mr. Anthony Jackson just to make a few brief remarks.
Thank you, Dr. Cooper. Dr. Witherspoon, Chairman, and this distinguished board, I cannot tell you how proud it is to stand here and to greet you and to share with you in that in all of my 30 years of leading hospitals, I've never received a check from anyone. So thank you for the opportunity to allow me to be here to receive this. We know Richland One is a pillar of the Midlands community and a vital partner of Prisma Health. And it shows particularly through your commitment to the Walk of Life and Prisma Breast Health Centers. Over the past 14 years, as Dr. Cooper just shared, you've raised just shy of $500,000 for those services and this community so richly needs and deserves. So thanks to the support of Richland One, proceeds from the Walk of Life has purchased 12 digital mammography units for breast centers in the Midlands and have funded educational materials for patients and the community about breast cancer and the importance of early detection. Walk for Life would not be what it is without Richland One. I'm going to say that again. Walk for Life wouldn't be what it is without Richland One. The district's efforts are spearheaded by team captains who rally staff members and students at their schools, not just through fundraising efforts, but also through raising breast cancer awareness through special events on their student campuses. And this is how we get to an improved health status for our communities, by embarking upon education, et cetera, early on. From band students arriving early to play music along the route to cheerleaders encouraging and pumping up walkers and runners over the finish line, the Richland One spirit is in full force and strong at the Walk for Life. This is truly a unified cause within the district, and it shows. Prisma Health would like to especially thank Dr. Tracy Cooper of Richland One, who is a foundation fellow and the leader of Richland One's Walk for Life campaign. For 14 years, Dr. Cooper has tirelessly led team captains in their fundraising efforts and encouraged and uplifted staff members going through breast cancer treatment. We can appreciate Dr. Cooper's leadership in growing this successful campaign for the Walk of Life and look forward to partnering again together in 2025 when we get to that $500,000, okay? So to all of our friends in the Richland One School District, I offer my sincerest thanks. It is an honor to accept this check. Again, I've never received one before in my whole life, so I'm going to enjoy this, from your fundraising initiatives. Because of you, we're continuing to advance healthcare in the Midlands because it does take a village. We appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and that concludes our school board spotlight for tonight.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Hersey, and everyone else who participated. Before we move on, I want to make sure I give the chance if anyone want to make a comment based on all the things we just saw. I think we're probably speechless up here. Dr. Witherspoon.
Well, again, congratulations to all that we have celebrated and recognized this evening. We have another presentation to go, but it speaks to the heart of this school district, whether it's students or staff that participate in the Walk for Life, Race for Life, to students again that assist neighbors that run toward danger, if you will, to help. The MLK essay contest where our students step up and perform. And again, it just speaks to the great things and great individuals that we have in Richland One. So congratulations again to everyone that has been honored this evening. Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Dr. Witherspoon. With that, we will move on to the Office of Teaching and Learning 7.01 Firefighters Program presented by Mr. Dinkins.
No, I will not still my voice. I have too much to claim. If you see me looking at books or coming at your house or walking in the sun, know that I look for fire. I have learned from book, dear friend, of men dreaming and living and hungering in a room without light, who could not die since death was too poor, who did not sleep to dream, but dreamed to change the world. And so if you see me looking at your hands, listening when you speak, marching in your ranks, you must know I do not sleep to dream, but dream to change the world. Those are the words of Martin Carter, written when he was 16 years old, proclaiming that his young voice is still a voice nonetheless. So we appreciate you, Chairman Lomanak, and the Board of Commissioners and Dr. Witherspoon for giving us this opportunity to recognize more young voices, and how coincidental that we started this afternoon recognizing students who ran towards fire, because here we are training students to do exactly that same thing. And I will not stand here before you long, but just to tell you that we have 2 programs at Lower Richland High School and at C.A. Johnson High School that is training students to become fire services members, firefighters, if you will. So we have Mr. David China come from C.A. Johnson High School, and followed by that, we'll have students taught by Miss Angel O'Neill from Lower Richland High School.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Dr. Witherspoon, board members. We want to thank you. My name is David China. I'm with the C.A. Johnson High School Heat Hunters, as the students have dubbed the classroom, the program. This is our first year. We're making strides. I have 3 students here with me this evening. I have Shaheem Mole-Stokes. I have with me Talik Smith and Anthony Covington Gordon. I'll let you. These 3 gentlemen, along with others in our program, have been working tirelessly. They're in the beginning stages, but they're grasping, they're becoming to love it. Well, at least I think and I hope so. But without further ado, I'll let you hear something from them.
Good evening, Dr. Witherspoon and the Richland One Commission. My name is Shaheem Mole-Stokes. I'm in the 10th grade. The reason I chose this firefighter course is because I like the way it teaches you in the real world and what it can do for you in life and how you can view it and what it teaches you. Thank you.
All right.
Good evening, Dr. Witherspoon and the esteemed Richland One Commission. My name is Talik Smith, and I'm a senior at C.A. Johnson High School. The reason I joined the firefighters program is because of the aspects that came with being a firefighter, the sense of building camaraderie and a brothership with people you wouldn't have known the day before. Thank you.
All right.
Good evening, Dr. Witherspoon and the board members. I am Anthony Covington Gordon, and I am a junior at C.A. Johnson High School. The reason I chose this program is because it taught me to value companionship, and it also taught me about the many rules that I would have to approach when I escaped high school. Thank you.
All right.
I want to take this time to thank you all for giving us the opportunity, giving me the opportunity to bring a light on a career that, I'll be quite honest, I didn't really get into until later on in life. Went to college, did other stuff, but I grew to love it. Spent right about over 15 years with the City of Columbia Fire Department, served as a captain there up until last year. And, I'd say God brought me to this right here. Things happen, you go through a season to come to another season. And I just want to thank you all, because we're making great strides at C.A. Johnson, and the Heat Hunters will be here for a while. Thank you.
All right.
Good evening to the members of the school board and the community. My name is Angel O'Neill. They know me as Chief O'Neill. I've been teaching the firefighter program since 2018 at Lower Richland High School. I've had the privilege of serving as a firefighter for 22 years, as a full-time career firefighter and as a volunteer, which I still do today for the City of Columbia. I've had the honor of working side by side with many remarkable individuals. Some of them were here tonight, including David China, with whom I've shared some hours on the truck together. 6 years ago, when my program first started, we had fewer than 15 students. Since then, we have made tremendous progress. Through hard work and dedication, we've grown the program to the South Carolina Fire Academy maximum of 15 students per class with 1 instructor. Today, I'm proud to say that we currently have 42 students enrolled in our firefighter certification courses. We even had a waiting list for the program for this year. This growth is a testament to the commitment of our students to pursue careers in public safety, which includes fire, EMS, police, and dispatchers. Over the last 6 years, the program has served 254 students. In our firefighter program, we teach students not only the basics of fire suppression, but we also teach them essential skills that extend beyond the fire ground. Some of the key areas of instruction include fire science. This is an understanding of fire behavior, how fires start, how they spread, how to control them safely and effectively. They also learn fire prevention and fire safety. Not only do I teach them how to reduce the fire hazards and prevent fires from occurring in the first place, but my students go around to other classes within the school teaching fire extinguisher classes and fire safety. In the past, my students have also gone to the local elementary schools to provide fire education. Students learn rescue operations. Here they integrate technology with the use of thermal imaging cameras, and they perform search and rescue in simulated hazardous environments. Think of this as a super technical game of hide and go seek. Chemistry and hazardous material response is where my students learn how to identify hazardous chemicals, biologicals, radiological hazards, and perform decontamination. We do finally cover fireground tactics and operations, where students learn to operate a chainsaw, pull hand lines off the fire truck, hook to a hydrant, climb a 30-foot ladder, put on fire gear, wear an SCBA, learn about building construction, practice fireground communications, and finally, everyone's favorite part, spraying the wet stuff on the hot stuff. Last but not least, my students get the opportunity to grow their leadership and teamwork skills, making them career ready for any career that they choose. They learn to work effectively as a team, to lead under pressure, and to make quick decisions that can save lives. We are in this program for 3 hours and 30 minutes a day, every other day for 2 to 3 years. We're family in this fire department program at this point. In 10th grade, the students are able to take Intro to Public Safety and Law. In 11th grade, they do Firefighter 1, and in 12th grade, the students take Firefighter 2. 765 hours later, my students leave this program with the following certifications. They get their OSHA 1 certification, they get Instant Command certifications, FEMA IS 100, FEMA IS 200, and FEMA Hazmat Awareness. The students get South Carolina Fire Academy recognized hazardous material operations. They get their Firefighter 1 and Firefighter 2 certifications with the ability to challenge the test for their International Fire Service certification called IFSAC. Additionally, our program is designed not only to provide students with technical certifications they need to enter the fire service, but also invaluable opportunities to build connections within the field. Through guest speakers and mentorship programs, students gain access to seasoned professionals who have walked the same path. These guest speakers are not only experts in their respective field, but also serves as mentors to our students, providing guidance and networking opportunities that will prepare them for their success in their careers. We have several fire departments in the area and beyond, including Greenwood Fire Department, who are actively recruiting for my program. I currently have 4 full-time firefighters working all over the state. I have 2 volunteer firefighters. I have a Richland County Sheriff's Deputy, and 3 students who are in the hiring process who are from our program. One of my previous students I have here with me today, and she's working at Florence Fire Department. All of these skills and certifications combined with the opportunity for mentorship and professional networking are critical not just for extinguishing fires, but by ensuring the safety and the well-being of our community beyond the CTE program. By investing in programs like this, we're not only preparing future firefighters, but we're also ensuring that they are well-equipped to handle dynamic challenges of the job within the sport that they thrive in their careers. I'm proud to be a part of this program, and I'm excited for the future of the fire service as we continue to nurture and train the next generation of first responders. Together, we can make sure that our communities remain safe, secure, and resilient in the face of any emergencies. Thank you again for your time and your support. Thank you. Thank you to the City of Columbia Fire Department for investing in our program, and to the South Carolina Fire Academy and your dedication to recruitment of the next generation. I look forward to working with you all to continue fostering these critical educational opportunities for our students and our future firefighters. Up next is my student Jasmine Myers. She was one of my first students to come to the program. She graduated from Francis Marion University basically on a Thursday, and on Tuesday, she was starting with Florence Fire Department. So I'm gonna go ahead and let her talk to you guys.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Before I even start, I want to thank the chairman, the Board of Commissioners, Dr. Witherspoon, and Ms. O'Neill for allowing me to come and speak on this evening. As Ms. O'Neill has said, my name is Jasmine Myers. I am currently a student at the South Carolina Fire Academy, and I am currently employed with Florence Fire Department. I graduated Lower Richland High School in 2021, and truthfully, I took this program because I didn't want to be in concert band anymore. But little did I know that it was going to shift my trajectory completely. It connected me with a mentor who helped me inside of the classroom and even out, and still to this day. It helped me change my career path because originally I wanted to be a singer. I knew I was going to be the next Beyonce, honestly. And it also showed me that there are no limits to what I can accomplish in life. Beyond that, it played a huge role in shaping my character. In the fire service, the fire service is built on strong values and morals. And Ms. O'Neill worked hard to instill that in each and every last one of us that came into her classroom. Things like teamwork, integrity, and accountability and respect are all things and all principles that I will carry with me moving forward and that I have been carrying with me this far. Thank you all for allowing me to speak.
My name is Kevin Henry. I attend Lower Richland High School. I'm a junior. I play football and I wrestle. I entered the program at first because I just needed another class to fill my schedule. But as the further on I got into the class, I realized that I had a bigger purpose in life, and it gave me a reason to get out of bed in the morning. You know, this program helped me realize that I can help save lives and impact my community in ways that's never been impacted before. And I'm just very thankful for Chief O'Neill, Principal Williams, and the whole Lower Richland staff to allow me to be up here and present myself. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Seth White, and I've been with Chief O'Neill for 3 years. I'm a senior, and what the program really brought to me is that there's a lot more than just putting out a fire. You're helping community out. You're helping a lot more. You have a bigger purpose in your community than just putting out a fire. And I also have made a lot of new friends during this program, and it's just a real good feeling knowing that you have a big accomplished and you know that you're able to help the community more than just sitting there. But yeah.
My name is Jeremiah Goodwin, and I'm 11th grade. And this program has taught me that we could look up and restore the community, be a bigger person, and we also have people that we could lean on, and when we need times, and we could do things together and be great.
That's all right.
Good evening. My name is Noah Lucas. I'm a 12th grader this year. The firefighter program, this will be my second year in there. And my first year in the program, I never really thought of it as just being a firefighter. But coming on to my second year, it's really made me just to look out, and it's motivated me to actually want to help out the community, not only my community, but to help out just putting out fires in general, because it's just not good for the earth to be on fire. So it's motivated me to not only help out for my community, but just to help out worldwide, to want to help solve problems with fires.
There we go.
Good evening. My name is Quincy Boyd. I'm also a senior at Lower Richland High School. I've been with the fire program with Chief O'Neill for going on 3 years now. Being part of this program just brought like a sense of familyhood and a brotherhood towards me, because growing up, I'm not gonna lie, I did not like school. So coming into my sophomore year, being able to join the intro class and just making new friends and going outside, seeing the different fire equipment, being able to put on my own PPE, get my own SCBA, everything together like that, it just gave me a sense of like, okay, cool, I'm doing something, and knowing once I graduate, I have a career field that's almost but guaranteed open to me, like that means like my school system really does care about me. Same with my principal, my chief, my classmates, and the members of the board. It just shows that having the CTE program shows kids like, hey, we have your back if you want to do something in your life. So that's what being part of this program has brought to me as well.
I don't have anything else to add to those words that you've heard. Very powerful. I would like to thank and recognize some folks that are here from the CTE department. We have Dr. Wider, who is the CTE coordinator, and also the CTE program consultant, Dr. Yolanda Singleton. And these are the people that help us to help these students and help the teachers and the schools to put this program on and do more with it, not just teaching classes, but teaching students how to be real leaders and great adults. Any questions?
Any questions for Mr. Dinkin or comments? Commissioner Devine.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Are there any challenges to this particular program as you've seen it? We've had it for 6 years in one school, a year or two at C.A. Johnson. What are some of those challenges that you've seen, and then how can we work together to maybe resolve some of those challenges?
Thank you. Great question. The challenges that I can give, and I can also let the instructor speak, just the resources to make sure that students are prepared. We want the gear that they wear right now. It's good for training, but it's not useful in terms of real fire support because it has a shelf life. And it has an opportunity like a useful life. So keeping that gear current so that we have, for high school, it is high school. So we have students who are, barely 5 feet to students who are 6'7", 6'8". Right. So just having that range of, gear to support all of the students. Looking forward to growing this program at C.A. Johnson. It is brand new. Getting it to the point where it has all the resources. Truck would be nice at both locations. A new truck, a new fire truck, to support that wonderful EMS bus at C.A. Johnson.
Chief Jenkins, they donated one. We can see if they can donate.
Well, yeah, we can get that up and going so that it doesn't become just a parade feature, but students learn all of the compartments and all of the different storage tactics and things that come on the truck. Because we all see the truck as it's racing by, but if you've ever been in a situation where they've had to respond to an emergency, then you know that truck has all of the tools that they need to save your house and save a life. So any instructors, anything you would add to what we need? Fire truck.
And Mr. Chairman, one more.
Yeah,
so as you we see our young people graduate and go on to life. So my question becomes, what do we provide? Do we provide any mental health or wellness for our young people? Because I know that firefighting is a little bit of a challenge also. Do they actually go on the fires yet, or we still just doing simulations at the schools?
Still simulated burns. They do. Okay. They will go into the fire stations, but they've not participated through the program in any shadowing or rolling out. They may have, some students may have on their own, which that volunteer opportunity is there. We try to create and have students in work-based learning situations so that they can go into the fire stations and be a part of that, to get that real world, because it's one thing to learn in a classroom setting, but it's another to experience it realistically. And that we want students not just to take the classes and have fun, but we want them to know that we're helping to build the careers. So we're preparing students to actually go into that field, and it does us no good for students to love the class and be deathly afraid of the situation when it happens. Like those young folks who ran to the fire earlier, we want to make sure students understand what that means when they really run to a fire. So mental wellness, and that is a great add, something we will consider. And I know there's a part of the curriculum that does require support, mental wellness support for students through it, but we'll definitely look at adding more of that as students get along and they recognize the value of that type of support.
Very good, thank you. And then lastly, just want to reiterate the mission of Richland School District 1. We're a leader in transforming lives through education, empowering all students to reach their dreams and their potential. And here's another opportunity of options and opportunities, engagement, and
exposure
for our young people. So we want to thank y'all for what y'all do, because we're here to provide those resources based off recommendation from what we hear from our community as well as from our staff. So thank you for presenting this for us tonight. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you for the support.
Thank you, Commissioner Devine. Any other questions? Commissioner Hersey?
I just want to say congratulations to all the students for coming out. You all did an amazing job, excellent. And what Mr. Commissioner Devine mentioned is what I was going to ask is about the fire engine. I noticed that it hasn't been in use for a while now, and is that something that we need to put on the top of our list to ensure that it's operational, because it's been sitting for a while?
So that particular fire engine that was donated was taken out of service for a reason.
Okay.
And unfortunately, the fire engine has so many parts and bells and whistles. The longer it sits, the more those things become useless, if you will. We have it there so the students can get the support on the compartments and knowing where things are, how things are stored, how to re-roll and unroll the hoses as they come off the truck. But in terms of actually getting out mechanically, the engine is not sound in that vehicle. That's why we've attempted to have the repairs done, but fire engines are a long lead time order, meaning if a fire station ordered a new one today, it could take as long as 8 months to a year before that product was delivered. So getting replacement parts is equally a challenge. It sat at a repair station for about 3 months, waiting on parts that never came. And we decided if it's going to sit and wait, we might as well have it sit and wait at the school where students can actually get into it and still use, have access to the hoses and the compartments and all of those things for training. But
so are we at a point of getting it repaired, or we're at a point of needing a new engine? That's what
we're at a point of needing a new engine.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Hersey. Commissioner Bishop.
Thank you, Chair. This is something that we can definitely take as a point of pride for Richland School District 1. Because as I heard one of the instructors, Chief, I'm looking straight at you, Chief. O'Neill. Chief O'Neill not only has firefighters out there, but she has a Richland County Sheriff Deputy that came through that program, which makes me ask the question, because these are first responders, right, in training. And some of our first responders are paramedics or people who are in the healthcare field. So the question is, with this program, how much cross-training is provided to go to those other areas of first responders, such as maybe healthcare and law enforcement? Is there any? Yeah.
And the EMS is actually part of a stackable credential within the program. So it is something that, along that way of Fire One, is something that students can earn. And we'd actually, through Dr. Witherspoon's leadership, we're on the process of starting a Hero Academy, which encompassed all of those emergency services programs and trying to get that available as something for our district. So that is something that we're still kind of inching towards and getting done.
Hero Academy, keep that in mind.
Yes, sir. Our curriculum does cover communication training so our students can go into dispatch. And we also do CPR and first aid. I have a student that's graduating this year that's already enrolled in Midlands Tech for his EMS program because he plans on being a paramedic. So it is a roll-in program from here to there.
Thank you so much. And what a survival skill to have.
Absolutely.
We look at students who ran into a fire to save, and I'm not sure if they had any survival skills or first responder skills, but here is an opportunity for our children, our students of Richland One, to get those things that are life-saving skills. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner Bishop. If there are no other questions, I'd like to ask all the instructors and Mr. Dinkins and the students to come up and let's get a picture up here.
Hey, Lucas, won't you play football for Lord Richland? I thought so. Yeah, I'm Peyton's father. Peyton Bishop. Y'all, go ahead, take the picture, take the picture.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
I got you. And Dr. Witherspoon, that tall guy right there walking away, he's an all-state football player for Lower Richland.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, we've come a long way with the program, and Chief O'Neill, certainly thank you for being at the inception of our program at Lower Richland, and we expanded this over at C.A. Johnson. But to see this program grow and produce first responders that are serving not only in our local area but across the state, Ms. Dinkins, we appreciate CTE's work on this from conception, if you will, to where we are today. And hats off to our young folks and certainly to staff for supporting this work. And this is something we're very proud of, Commissioner Bishop, as you've indicated, and making sure that we do continue, Dr. Hersey, in terms of what is needed and so forth. But certainly great job and hats off to our young folks.
Thank you, Dr. Witherspoon. All right, with that, we will move on to our public participation segment tonight, 8.01, public participation. I want to remind everyone that you will have 3 minutes to provide your comments. If you look to my left, it'll be your right. There is a screen over there that will be visible to you. That will have the time on it. There's also going to be a time, obviously, on that screen, but you may not be able to see that from the podium. After 3 minutes is up, please conclude. The microphone will be shut off. I want to remind everyone, I never think I need to, but just to make sure I've said I did it, this is not a time to criticize any staff or students. And please, especially tonight, because we are in a very echoey room, while we can hear folks, we are having to work a little bit at it to hear everyone. Please do not react to what anyone says so that we can make sure that we're hearing every single person and everything they have to say. All right, we will start with Robin Smith.
Good evening. I'm here today to speak about the Early Learning Center. Many have expressed concerns, one side being for the school, the other being against it because of no data to support it. I do believe we all care about what happens with the next generation, and this energy can definitely be used to help us make our district better in so many ways. It does not have to be an us versus them all the time. I inquired today about these programs and was told that they are at 7 schools with only 2 of them at capacity. This was reiterated in the information that was provided to us at last year's school board meeting at Lower Richland. I am a strong believer in quality public education. I am a product of this district's public education. I also recognize that we must address the immediate needs of K through 12 schools, from infrastructure to classroom needs, especially with the potential for federal funding cuts and use of public school funds for vouchers. The South Carolina General Assembly appropriates funds through various programs and subsidies. It's important to note that some of this funding is not guaranteed. I believe we should focus on utilizing the spaces we already have. A new facility that cannot sustain itself is not necessary at this time, especially when the data and funds are not available. I'm grateful that we have state representatives who are deeply involved, and my hope is that we and they will continue to advocate to protect public funding for public schools. When the need arises, I truly believe they will fully fight to fund early childhood education buildings and ensure long-term sustainability without relying on solely or receiving uncertain federal funds. The best way to move forward is through a bond vote or for the General Assembly to fully fund pre-K programs and to assure a new facility can be sustainable. I understand there will be differing opinions, but ultimately, this decision should be made by the people, either through a bond vote or guaranteed legislative funding. I just want to end with tomorrow, if you all can come out and support the Lower Richland Lady Diamonds at the Diamond Mine at 6:30. They will be playing Bishop England at the Diamond Mine in the third round of playoffs. Come out and support them. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Jerry Carter.
Good evening, everyone. I don't have a speech. I just need clarity. As I started my car yesterday, there was a man speaking on a talk show, and he was making it political, white versus black. And I just need verification, since it was alleged on that talk show that the Ford name was sullied. And I'm saddened that we are fighting over craziness. So I just want to know what occurred with the budget. Why are we trying to build an establishment and we have needs in the school? I worked the school district before I was fired. That was the best firing. But what I'm concerned with, I spent a lot of money in the school district helping with fundraising out of my own personal money. I'm retired. I'll be 78 this year. But why are we spending money where we should not be spending it? If this place is vacant, is it costing the school board anything per month? We need to know that. And additionally, why is it that we do not follow protocol, policy, and procedures? Because this is not training up our young people how to behave in public. Am I making sense to you? Because y'all looking at me like a deer in headlights. I care about the school system. I think our kids should be helped with the money that we are allocated, that you are allocated, because I'm a taxpayer, state, federal, district. But I want to see that money put to good use rather than showing up desk just in case somebody come in to do you bodily harm. Or if you have kids that are going out the wrong door, why is it that instead of putting security methods, you move the alarm from one door to another? We need to be proactive. We need to encourage the kids on our experience. No one should ever say that you should not share your experience, because that's how you learn. These young people, I'm so proud of them because they're not in the streets doing craziness. We need to bring back, what's a good adjective? We need to bring back discipline. The kids aren't afraid of anyone. Their parents are afraid of anyone. I worked in the school system for 8 years, was called everything but a child of God. But you can't say anything to them because there's no backup.
Thank you, Ms. Carter. Thank you very much. All right, next up is James Starnes.
Good evening, Chairman Lamanik, Board of Commissioners, Dr. Witherspoon, executive staff, and my fellow stakeholders. I come this evening in a spirit of celebration, celebrating because we appear to be at the point where the Early Learning Center can finally move forward. I celebrate the fact that this board now has an opportunity to demonstrate what it has shared with us over and over again, its commitment to put children first. Children before politics, children before special interests, children before enemies that come to us and tell us what we don't need and try to convince us to have others believe that we do not need it when we know what our children need based on research that you've done and dollars that you have identified. I come to celebrate the fact that by coming together, we can make sure that as we know God answers prayer, and Commissioner Devine asked God to grant wisdom to this board to make decisions that are in the best interest of all children. I celebrate that that includes the children of District of Lower Richland, who should not be separated and set apart for years. I celebrate the fact that a member of this very board tonight spoke of the importance of not allowing something to sit and not be used, but to be used. Please let us not squander over $1 million and allow anyone to benefit when we know what our children need. Thank you, and I celebrate the fact that a vote comes tonight, but progress comes in the morning. Thank you.
Thank you. If I could ask people not to react, thank you. Ms. Deshandra Mosley.
Good evening. I acknowledge that starting early education early is crucial for our children's future. However, I urge you to reconsider building the ELC at the expense of existing 53,000 students. The funds allocated for this project do not cover the operational costs of the ELC, and our current schools are in dire need of upkeep and renovations. The district is struggling with issues such as rodents and structural decay. We have current challenges such as hiring and retention. With 80 certified openings, including 36 elementary positions, how will the district address the staffing crisis? Legal and permitting concerns. Have the supporters of the ELC considered the legal ramifications and permitting issues, along with the impact on surrounding properties? Ignoring warnings from the SC Department of Education could also have serious consequences. They would take over the finances of the district. Financial implications. Taxpayer impact. Have you considered the additional cost to taxpayers, potentially adding a minimum of $100 to tax bills? Funding concerns. Public school education is not fully funded by the state, and the plans to divert lottery funding from public to private schools exacerbate this issue. Will our senators and representatives stand up for public education and provide the necessary funding? So in conclusion, yes, we need additional resources in the district, but we must consider all circumstances and heed the warnings in the report. Building the ELC without addressing these pressing issues is not the solution. Let's prioritize the needs of our current schools and ensure we are making informed decisions that benefits all students. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Lee Carroll.
Good afternoon, board members. My concern is I've been all over the world, and I have stood up for all kids. And about a year ago, I talked to a young man in reference to funding ROTC uniforms at Eau Claire. And the young man said, "I'll get back with you. I'll get back with you." And to this very day, this young man have not got back with me about those uniforms. And we went in, Save Our Kid went and invested $1,000 to make sure the uniform was clean for those kids. Because being ex-military, if your uniform is not starched and looking good, you don't feel good. And they got money in the budget for those kids, but for some reason this young man said that, "I'll get back with you. I'll get back with you. And I don't promise you can get your money back. I don't want the money back. I want those kids to have clean uniforms and look good." And I hope and pray that y'all do not go forward with this learning center down in Lower Richland, because somebody's been paid up on that table. And if you look very closely, somebody did that to make money and use the school to make that money. But as a former law enforcement, I know a crook when I see one. But thank y'all very much.
Thank you. The next speaker is Holly Scott.
Good evening, board members. I'm Dr. Witherspoon. I'm Holly Mae Simon Scott from Eastover, South Carolina. I graduated from Weber High School May the 30th, 1952. The whole family was urged by our parents, Christabel and Constantine Simons, now deceased, to get a good education. Education is power, and we need the learning center. They can start out, so they can start out early. Get them started early, and who knows, it may be a potential physician scientist that can cure cancer, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's disease, and a lot of other diseases. Craig Melvin, that's on NBC News, he graduated from St. John Baptist Preschool, and he was taught by my sister, Grace House. Knowledge is power, so we need the Learning Center to get them started early.
Thank you. Next speaker is Bernice Scott.
Thank you, Commissioners and Dr. Witherspoon. I'm Bernice G. Scott. I'm 80 years of age. I lived in the Lower Richland area all my life, and I'm still working there. The people who came up and talk about what they want or don't want, I've never seen them work in the community. The Lower Richland area is here to represent. We told everybody, y'all stand up to Lower Richland. I told them not everybody don't need to speak, because all of us are on one accord. I've been on Richland County Council for 20 years. I worked in the system 10 years, that's 30 years. I worked with school bonds to make sure that the school got what they needed. County Council has always supported District 1 and District 2 when I was on County Council. Because a lot of people say District 1 don't need that or District 2 don't need that, but all our kids need that. All our kids need education. I was a single parent when my daughter was 6 and my son was 4. If I didn't have the help of my mother and my brothers and sisters, my father had died, I could not have worked in Columbia and stay there. The Early Learning Center is a must for the future of our kids. They are building 300,000 and 400,000 by 1,000 homes, 200 right down there on Lower Richland, right next to the school, another 300 not too far from the school. We need that center. I have been an advocate for the Lower Richland area in Richland County all my life, and I will continue to work. And I want you to know that I am still working in the community. We are doing housing, we are doing senior citizen, and I'm a senior citizen now too. 34 years we've done this. And everyone who got up here and talked about what they don't need, I have never seen them hand someone a glass of water. We are talking about our young kids. And Dr. Lomanex, I appreciate all of y'all on the board for doing something. When you work your budget up, make sure that there's enough money in there, and I will help you campaign with Richland County Council to make sure that y'all get the money. It's about our kids, y'all. It's about nothing else. Our time is moving on. And God told us, when you do it to the least one of us, you've also done it to me. If we can get our kids stir up and start up and get a good education, look what they can do for this world. Please continue to do that learning center. We definitely need it. I'm talking about an advocate who work. We work in our community. And I thank y'all so.
Thank you, Ms. Scott. Thank you. Robert Reese.
So to the Board of Commissioners, to Dr. Witherspoon, as a freshman legislator, I sat and listened to the governor give his State of the State address. And as he talked about his budget priorities, he mentioned full day 4K programming. The governor said that 18,083 students were currently enrolled in the program, and that the Office of First Steps to School Readiness anticipated a 7% increase in the number of children from low-income households who would enroll in the program in the 25-26 school year. He asked us to fund $2.8 million for early childhood education. And as the governor sat there and asked us for that increase, I thought about my own community. And I thought about what was happening in Lower Richland. Kaufman Road, where I went to middle school, Har Hill Elementary have the highest enrollment amongst elementary schools in the district. And between the two, approximately 200 of their students are 3 to 4K. They're bursting at the seams. And we know what's happening with residential growth in the Lower Richland community. Lower Richland is experiencing unprecedented growth. And these schools are experiencing daily new enrollment of students. If not the Vince Ford Center, what is the plan? What is the plan to provide the residents of Lower Richland early childhood education opportunities? I know that Charleston is building these centers. They have about 3 now. There's a state-of-the-art center in Spartanburg. What's happening with District 1? Where are these opportunities? I'm lending my support to help make sure that the area that you deemed the most in need and with the least capacity has early childhood education. Lower Richland was the area that you said had the greatest need. So what is the plan if not the Vince Ford Early Childhood Education Center? I'm going to ask, and I'm going to be here to assist, but I want to know what's the opportunities for the educational opportunities for those youngest students, and we know early childhood education is the key.
Thank you very much. The next speaker is Jennifer McConnell.
Good evening, everyone. As a child care director, it was fascinating to hear the young students that talked about wanting to be a firefighter. And in most cases, if not all of them, probably attended a preschool program. And in a preschool program, we have what's called playtime and dress-up time and housekeeping time, and you get to imagine what you would be when you're gonna grow up. And so I only can believe that it was because of our early childhood center that those children had the wherewithal to then pursue the opportunities to be a firefighter beyond their K-12 years. So good evening, Chairman Lomack, Superintendent Witherspoon, and Commissioners. I am Dr. Jennifer McConnell, and I am an early childhood program director in the area. Tonight I stand before you as an advocate for the early care and education community. I have been following the news about the Richland One Early Learning Center and was elated with the potential of a child care center that would be built to support the children of the area. You may have heard or been informed that there is a crisis in child care. I know it firsthand. If you need any data, more information, you can contact Dr. Jennifer Melissa McConnell, and I can help you with that. But the shortage pertains to a shortage of access due to the lack of available slots. There's a lack of quality childcare preschool programs, the weekly expense, and then too few quality programs, and to top it off is the struggle of the recruitment and retention of childcare teachers. I understand that there has been challenges along the way, but it is my hope that you all will continue the efforts to bring this center to fruition. We need more high-quality preschool programs like the Richland One Early Learning Center. Making school choice is important for K-12, but is equally as important for a family choosing a center that will help build the foundation for their child's development. At the heart of children, representing the heart, at the heart of the children, we bring a wealth of knowledge and expertise that can bring about change, but new opportunities to prepare our children to be lifelong learners, to make a positive impact in their families, schools, and communities. Embrace the challenges, remove the barriers, but move forward with the project for our children. Thank you for your time and the opportunity for my voice to be heard.
Thank you very much. Regina Williams.
Since the last time I was here before you, we had a pretty contentious election process this past November, didn't we? But the community spoke and change was made. The vocal voices got what they wanted, and now it is time to give the children and families of the Garners Ferry Road, Hopkins, and maybe even Eastover what they need. I remember when Dreer wanted the field. The community was relentless until the field was completed. Keenan was built. Voices were relentless until that field was built. I work with parents and children in every corner of District 1 as a coach and a navigator. And so I've seen what early childhood can do and what the lack of it can results in. I'm a proponent of equity, not giving everyone else what everyone else gets, but giving what the people need. The voters got what they wanted on November the 5th. Now, school board, let's give our children in the Lower Richland area what they need. Let this be the first of the 3 early childhood learning centers that will flood the school district of Richland One. Now, as I leave you, I want to ask a question. If this building is not built, and I may need the attorney to answer this question, if this building is not built and it is sold, what is the law that says who gets first dibs at this building? Now, I've been told that it is possibly a charter school or a private school. We're public school proponents, and we're going to let a charter school where they're already taking our voucher money to go to the public school, to go to the charter schools, we're going to let them buy our building that's there? I say, no, we're not. We're better than that. We are better than that. Thank you all for listening. And if I can do anything to help, just let me know. I'm retired from District 1, but I work here every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. We will not respond tonight, obviously, but you will receive something from either myself or an appropriate district person, staff member within the next 2 weeks. All right, we'll move on to the consent agenda. 9.01, the minutes from the board work session and regular board meeting on February 11th, 2025, and the called board meeting on February 18th, 2025, and 9.02, the January 2025 financial report presented by Ms. Matthews Hazel.
Mr. Chairman? Move
Yes.
that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Commissioner Devine has moved to accept the consent agenda as presented. Commissioner Bishop has seconded that motion. Are there any questions or discussion? Seeing none, I will call for the vote. The motion carries with 6 yeas and no noes. The consent agenda has been adopted as presented. I should have noted earlier, by the way, that we have 6 members present. Commissioner Weston is not here tonight. We'll now move to the Office of Human Resources, 10.01, the HR personnel updates presented by Dr. Kumas.
Good evening, Board Chair, members of the School Board of Commissioners, Dr. Witherspoon. HR updates were provided in executive session as information. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them at this time.
Do any commissioners have questions for Dr. Kumas? All right, seeing no questions, Dr. Kumas will move to 10.02, hiring of personnel.
Thank you, sir. The administration recommends hiring all 6 teachers on the attached list for the 24-25 school year. The administration so recommends.
You've heard the recommendation of the administration. What's the pleasure of the board?
Move for approval, Chair.
Second.
It was moved for approval by Commissioner Bishop, which was seconded by Commissioner Devine. Any questions or discussion?
Here you go.
Commissioner Bishop.
If this goes forth as a prevailing vote in favor of this recommendation, how many teacher vacancies will we have?
Yes, sir. At this time, we would have 38 teacher vacancies at this time.
Thank you.
Any further questions or discussion? All right, hearing none, I'll call for the vote. That motion carries with a unanimous vote of 6 yeas. We'll now move on to 6.03, administrative appointment presented by Dr. Kumas.
Yes, sir. The administration recommends the appointment of D.W. to the position of Coordinator of Special Projects at the Human Resource Services for the 24-25 school year. The administration so recommends.
You've heard the recommendation of the administration. What's the pleasure of the board?
Move for approval.
Second.
There's a motion to approve the recommendation of the administration by Commissioner Hersey that was seconded by Commissioner Devine. Any discussion or questions for Dr. Kumas? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. That motion carries with a unanimous 6-0 vote. We'll now move on to the Office of the Superintendent, 11.01, Superintendent's Report presented by Dr. Witherspoon.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Since our last meeting, we learned that 6 of our students, 4 from Dreer and 2 from AC Flora, have been named finalists in the 2025 National Merit Scholarship Program, which recognizes academically talented high school seniors across the country. The 15,000 finalists will compete for scholarships collectively worth nearly $26 million. The scholarship winners will be announced this spring. Congratulations to our National Merit Scholarship finalists. Their names are posted on our website at richlandone.org. 11 of our girls and boys varsity basketball teams made the state playoffs this year, and 4 of our teams are still in contention for state championship titles. The Eau Claire girls team hosted Mid Carolina tonight, and I understand they won. And the Lower Richland girls team will host Bishop England tomorrow, Wednesday, February 26th. I want to say that is at Lower Richland High School. The C.A. Johnson boys team will play Abbeville in the Upper State Championship on Thursday, the 27th, at the Florence Civic Center. And the W.J. Keenan boys team will play Loris High School in the Lower State Championship on Friday, the 28th, also at the Florence Civic Center. Congratulations and good luck to all of our teams. Go Team One. Last Thursday, February 20th, we held our annual masterclass in partnership with the Auntie Karen Foundation. Thanks again to Karen Alexander Banks and her team for bringing P.J. Morton to Richland One to share his talent, insights, and experiences with our students and students from surrounding districts. We also want to extend kudos and congratulations to the students from W.J. Keenan High School and Columbia High School who performed before and during the masterclass. Thank you as well to Mr. Kerry Abel, Mr. Walter Graham, and all of our visual and performing arts teachers, principals, student transportation staff, security staff, and all others who helped to make this event a success. Also, we want to congratulate two of our staff members who, for their recent honors and awards. Ms. Lanier Levy Alston, a family and consumer science teacher at Hand Middle School, has been named the 2025 South Carolina Association of Family and Consumer Sciences Teacher of the Year. This award recognizes a K-12 family and consumer science teacher who has helped improve the quality of family life, identified exemplary educational programs and activities that have motivated other educations, and built community awareness of family and consumer sciences education. Ms. Alston was recognized on February 19th during the State Association's conference in Greenville. Dr. Candace Kopic, our Executive Director of Information Technology, was selected for induction into the 2025 Consortium for School Networking's, or COSIN, Volunteer Hall of Fame. The nonprofit organization is the premier professional association for school system technology leaders. The Volunteer Hall of Fame recognition is awarded to individuals who are committed to advancing COSIN's mission. Dr. Kopic will be inducted in April during COSIN's annual conference in Seattle, Washington. Our first ever R1 Male Conference will be held Saturday, March 15th from 8 a.m. to noon at Olympia Learning Center. The theme is Scoring Success Through Collaboration. Our District Teacher of the Year, Mr. Joseph Bell from Pine Grove Elementary School, is the lead coordinator of the conference. The goal of the conference is to create a platform for male teachers from various backgrounds to teach, mentor, and recruit each other. Topics covered during the conference will include time management, leadership, self-care, support for aspiring and new educators, and having a work-life balance. While the conference primary target audience is male educators, it is open to anyone who would like to attend. The deadline to register is March 7th, and the registration link is on our website at richlandone.org. We're looking for more talented, certified, and classified staff to join the Richland One team. Our spring career fair will be held on Saturday, March 29th from 10 a.m. to noon at W.J. Keenan High School. Interested persons are asked to complete an application for a position in Richland One prior to attending the career fair. Certified participants should possess or be eligible for a South Carolina teaching certificate. For more information about the career fair and to complete an application and register for the event, go to www.richlandone.org/careers. There are several education-related observances during the year. This week, February 23rd through March 1st, is Montessori Education Week. Montessori Education Week promotes awareness and appreciation of this educational opportunity and the contributions to peace, the development of the child, and benefits of a Montessori education. Richland One began implementation of Montessori education in 2000 at Brockman Elementary School, which was the first public Montessori school in the state at that time. Since then, we have expanded our Montessori programs to include programs at Logan and Kaufman Road Elementary Schools and W.G. Sanders Middle School. Mr. Chair, this concludes my report at this time.
Thank you, Dr. Witherspoon. Do any commissioners have any questions of Dr. Witherspoon regarding his report? All right, hearing no questions, we'll move on to the Office of the Board 12.01, Legal Advice, Power School Breach, presented by Dr. Richardson.
Good evening, Chairman Lomanek, Board of Commissioners, and Superintendent Witherspoon. The administration recommends retaining Mr. William Shinoff and the France Law Group to pursue any remedies via litigation for the district regarding the Power School data breach, as this representation is at no cost to the district, as this would be a contingency agreement. Fees do not need to be approved. The administration so recommends.
Board, you've heard the recommendation of the administration. What's the pleasure of the board?
Move for approval, Chair.
Commissioner Bishop moves to approve the recommendation of the administration. Commissioner Devine has seconded that motion. Any discussion or questions for Dr. Richardson? All right, hearing none, I'll call for the vote. The motion carries with 5 yeas and 1 no. We will move on to 12.02, Legal Advice Early Learning Center, presented by Chairman Lomanak. I will just note, to be very specific, the legal advice focused on the current contract and procurement for the Early Learning Center, not the program generally, but for the current contract that we have. Are there any discussion items or motions by board members? Commissioner Bishop.
I want you to, if you don't mind, expounding upon that, what you just said again, so that everyone is clear. You did simply say what you said, but just make sure that you can expound upon it a little more. If not, we can have the discussion. You want to repeat what you said one more time?
Sure, and I'm happy to discuss it if I'm missing something, but simply that the legal advice is focused on the current contract and procurement for the Early Learning Center, not the program in general, but for the current contract and procurement for the Early Learning Center.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Moore.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to recommend or make a motion that we terminate the current contract regarding the construction of the Early Learning Center.
All right, there's a motion to terminate the current contract for the construction of the Early Learning Center. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Hersey has seconded the motion to terminate the contract, the current contract for the Early Learning Center. Discussion, Commissioner Moore.
I know it's been said several times already and made clear, and I appreciate that, but I do want to say one more time that this particular motion is not a comment on the need for or the location of the Early Learning Center. It is dealing with the current contract. This project has, for whatever reason, been mired in controversy, some of maybe of our making, some from other sources outside the district. But this motion is designed, and my intent is to see to it that we have the opportunity to move forward from here as a district.
Commissioner Clyburn.
I actually have an alternative motion that I would like to put forward.
All right, Commissioner Clyburn.
The alternative motion that I would like to put forward is to postpone this, and this as for consideration, just due to the fact that this is a permanent decision that we're making tonight. And I think a postponement would allow data to be retrieved, even though I think in 2016, First Steps did a study, and based on their recommendation, the need for
Commissioner Clyburn, I'm sorry to interrupt, but if you could make your motion, and then we need to get a second.
Then we can discuss. Thank
so
you.
we can discuss it. If you could
Well,
restate your.
I would like to make a motion that we postpone this this item
All right.
for a later date to gather more information.
Well, let me clarify. There are two options for a motion to postpone. One is just a motion to postpone, which means that it would automatically come up at the next board meeting. The second is a motion to postpone indefinitely. What motion are you making?
Just to come up for at the next board meeting.
So
yes.
Commissioner Clyburn has made a motion to postpone. Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Devine has seconded that motion. Now I'd like to come back to you, Commissioner Clyburn, so that you can finish your remarks regarding your motion.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Chair. In 2016, the First Steps program of South Carolina performed a study, and they determined an extreme need that an early learning center would be supported. 50% of our children that need this service were not being served, and that number has not gotten better. But also, I think this would give commissioners just all of the information that we need in order to make an informed decision. And also, this would give us an opportunity to explore additional support, for, permitting and everything else that we may need to go along with this project. So that is my reasoning. And I don't think it would hurt or harm the district to do this.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Commissioner Bishop and then Commissioner Hersey.
Thank you, Chair. I do support what Commissioner Clyburn is sharing, although I would have liked to extend it until we had this forensic audit that was ordered, because it seems like these things have been coupled together. Yes, what you said has been marred or blurred to use something to stop another. And, when I look at what is the narrative that's being put forth tonight, that's not why these people showed up. These people showed up because they believe it was the program and the project being voted on all in the same. And that's what has always been the narrative. And so when we come tonight to try to differentiate between the two, it's a little puzzling. And so supporting tabling this is good, because it seems like at the 11th hour, it's starting to go separate ways. But it's always been, in a sense, that it was not just what tonight being a canceling or a termination of a contract, but it's also been a termination, considered a termination of a early learning opportunity for students. They didn't come tonight just to voice their opinion about stopping a procurement opportunity or stopping an opportunity for this building not to be built. They came tonight to say this is what they need. This is what the children need. Or they said this is not what they need. So I'm in support of suspending this, because I think we've rehearsed it over and over again that there was a need, that the data was there, that we did prove that this opportunity was going to be beneficial for the Lower Richland area and the Broad River corridor and some other areas. It was not just a knee-jerk reaction, it was a need-based decision that was in alignment with our strategic plan, that was allocated with dollars. And when you even look at what came back as the Inspector General's report, it was all mixed in together. It wasn't about necessarily just what I believe to be just a procurement issue. It was all about the capacity, the children. It was an overall study. And so when we look at suspending this to the next meeting, I just wish we would have suspended this conversation until what this board voted on with a 5-2 vote to have a forensic audit. So if we're gonna make the right decision, let's have all the data. Let's have all the information. Let's make sure that we're doing right by this district, we're doing right by this community, we're doing right by these children. And as far as the other needs that are in the district, why we can't do both? We can do both. We can buy desks, we can buy uniforms, we can fix rodents, we can fix everything, we can do teacher pay raise. We can do it all. We can do it, and we got support to do it. I'm so glad that one of our generals of our community said she'll stand there with us shoulder to shoulder to make it happen. So when we say what we can't do, I argue that we can do it, and we should do it, and we should do all of it. So my last point is this. With all the growth that is going on in the Lower Richland community, this just makes sense to me. Because when we look at the demographic study that was given to us to map out this opportunity, it was about seeing tomorrow, not seeing today. It was about seeing something with vision. And I read a good book one time, maybe you read it. It said, our people perish for a lack of vision. If you can't see the growth today, you definitely won't see it tomorrow. And by the time it get there, it'll be too late. It also said in that same book that our people will lack for a lack of knowledge. They will perish for a lack of knowledge. We gave data. We gave information after information point. So if you got the data, you got the information, you see the vision, and it's lined up with the strategic plan, why not do it? So I want to give to that discussion because it seems as if we're splitting the narrative now to be the program will only be delayed, but the project building is now being denied. Delayed, denied. It was always the same thing. It was all ways together. So I think we need to delay it because at this last hour, it seems to be divided when it always has been together. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Bishop. Commissioner Hersey.
Chair, I would like to amend my motion.
All right.
Can I do that? Okay. Oh, yes. I would like to, in light of some previous statements, I would like to amend my motion to postpone this item indefinitely.
All right, so the motion has been amended to postpone this vote indefinitely. Is there a second to postpone it indefinitely?
Second.
Commissioner Devine has seconded the motion of Commissioner Clyburn to postpone this vote indefinitely. Commissioner Hersey.
You know, I certainly believe in doing what's best for children. As an educator myself and living in the Lower Richland community. This is not something that we take lightly. We need and we've asked for, and if there is the data to support building it, let it be seen. That's all I ask for, the data, just to show where we've done the study in the district, we've looked at all the schools to support that additional early childhood center is needed. There are many programs in the district, and I want you all to think about those persons who did not speak. You didn't see any employees coming up here speaking. You didn't see any current parents of students speaking, because those in the inside, they know, we know, and I know that there are a lot of programs in Richland One that need to be firmed up. There's funding that we need to get some of our programs to state of the art so that we can have those collaborations with Midlands Technical College as well as USC. If you tour Hayward Career Center, many of those programs do not have what they need for 2025 to be teaching kids, and I know this firsthand, I have a child there, teaching them welding, but the welding equipment is out of date. Or the cosmetology lab at Lower Richland does not meet the sufficient size for students in there to serve the clients the way that they need to serve. Richland One is a premier district, But we need to give our schools, our students, premier services and a premier environment to work in. It's not that we're against early learning. I'm not against early learning. I'm all for let's making what we have quality, the way that it should be, and the way that we stand up here and say that we have it. Let's bring those persons who are in the schools every day, talk to them, ask them what they need. Principals should not have to wait because a freezer has gone out at a school. They don't have space to store the food, but yet we're going to build a $38 million building, but we can't buy a $2,000 freezer. Or the kids cannot use a functioning fire truck, which is a part of the training, I think should be a basic skill. That fire truck has been sitting there for over 5 years, or whenever it was donated, has yet to be repaired, has yet to be painted. So all I'm asking is, let's redirect some of those funds to get what we need in the schools right now to help our students. We have lower classrooms now, and I know this firsthand. I didn't ask for a Power School report, but every early childhood classroom is not bursting at the seams. They're not. There are ways that we can be creative to combine schools, to add a wing onto a school. There are things that can be done outside of just building a center or a daycare center where we don't have people to even staff the buildings that we have now. This building was not intended just for Lower Richland. A lot of people are saying it was for Lower Richland. It's not just for Lower Richland. It was supposed to be a district-wide building, so it's not just for the Lower Richland community. So let's stop saying that we're doing something against the Lower Richland community. I live in the community. I'm not going to allow people to say we're not doing what's best for the community. People that are speaking up don't have children in the district, don't have grandchildren in the district. They're speaking based on what they hear and not what they really know. And so I yield the rest of my comments, Commissioner Lomanak, and the rest of the board members. I respect everything that you're saying. I hear what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. But let's look at this firsthand, and let's look at what the employees and the parents, current parents, feel that the district needs.
Thank you, Commissioner Hersey. Commissioner Moore.
I was concerned that we considered an amendment that would delay this till the next board meeting, and now I'm even more concerned that we're talking about delaying a decision on this indefinitely. We have been discussing this for quite some time. This is not just this board, but the board before this one. It's been an issue that's been hanging over our heads, and every day that it's there, it's costing the district money. And to postpone this indefinitely is no guarantee that it'll be solved. We're kicking the can down the road instead of dealing with it now, and that's my concern. I think that in order for us to do the things that we need to do in this district, we need to move past this particular issue. But if we just continue to look at it and continue to have to consider it every time, there are other things that will have to take the back burner and have to not be done. I agree with my colleagues that this district can do all of these things. My concern is that we haven't, and I don't understand. I mean, we talk about how we can get all this done, but a lot of these things are still sitting there, and they're some of the same discussions we've had ever since this project started. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Moore. Any other questions or comments? All right.
One thing, I think
Commissioner Hersey.
I think it's public information, and if anybody wants to do research, we're spending over $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a month right now because we're at a stop. And so we need to think about, do we continue spending that amount of money, every taxpayer dollars, every month indefinitely? So I'm not sure where we stand on the motion or how it needs to be reworded, or I see Commissioner Bishop has another comment. Maybe that's going to help us.
Commissioner Bishop.
No, I'm not necessarily going to help you on that, but I will tell you this. When it's a political football, it's going to cost the taxpayers. Now, if we want to just call it what it is, one person said tonight, the voters got what they wanted, now give the people what they needed, what they've been asking for. And they didn't need a political football kick down the road any further. But I heard people say, still fight. I heard people tonight say they still want it. Now, I'm believing that there still can be an opportunity to get this done and do everything else we just mentioned. We have to make sure as board members that we voice our support to get the ice maker finished, to get the tile done on the floor, to get the new roof at the building, but still make sure that we fight and advocate for these students who need early learning. And so, as I see an opportunity that we're not finished fighting yet, we still need to make sure that we met with every department or agency or organization until every last door has been closed. But if there's a door still open, we need to walk through it. There's a window we can look through to see what this opportunity looks like. We need to look through it. And so, in making sure that we not necessarily keep delaying the process, but we be deliberate about the process, that we literally say, hey, taxpayers, we did everything we could. And so by coming tonight at this 11th hour, where it seems that it's now parting ways, where we're just saying what we're doing is denying this, but it'll delay this, I think that deserves more data, more information than tonight. So hopefully a vote will allow us to come back again, look at all the information that's been requested, because yes, this previous board, we did that for years. We argued it in public. We were very transparent with information. It was never enough. Now that we have a new board that the State Department said they're willing to finally talk to, because they wouldn't talk to the last board, which is why it cost the taxpayers that amount of money every month, because it could have been resolved earlier, but there was only correspondence. There was no conversation. Now we're having conversation. Maybe it can be of some benefit to see if every door has been closed or is at least one door open. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Bishop. All right, we've got a motion by Commissioner Clyburn to postpone this vote indefinitely that was seconded by Commissioner Devine. I will now call for the vote.